everybody. Welcome back to another exciting sales update video. I kind of got a little behind, so this one is for 2 months, and I will show you some items that sold with some commentary. I have been all over the place this year trying new things. And I will say that I love the thrifting in my new location. I'm right on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. You know how Goodwill has different districts? Well, I'm in a completely different district now than I was in Greenville. That was called like Goodwill of the upstate South Carolina. And now I am in Goodwill of the Southern Piedmont district, and it's completely different. A lot of the stores are brand new. Like when I say brand new, I mean less than 2 years old. And others are being built. And so everything is fresh and nice and new and lots of choices. There's more inventory in there and better stuff. So that has put a little pep in my step to be able to get back out and go thrifting and actually find good stuff. So I am very motivated. But anyway, this video just shows some things I sold in August and September. So we're just going to do a 2-for-1 on this. And maybe you'll learn something new. So let's jump into it.
Okay, here we go, and we are freestyling on this. So, um, nothing is in order, and you're going to get some commentary on some of this. So, here we go. This is a pair of vintage handmade crochet gloves. These are great sellers. Now, I did take an offer of $17 on these. I usually pay $4 or less, so it is a great bread and butter item and never go out of style. These can be used for costumes or tea parties, all kinds of things. So I'm always looking for these and buy them in bulk sometimes on online auctions. Okay, next up is this pair of Ralph Lauren Brittany floral pillowcases. These were $6 total at Goodwill, and I accepted an offer of $40. So that one made me very happy. Always on the hunt for any of this older Ralph Lauren stuff that is floral. Check it out. Some of these are worth so much money. Haven't found the giant comforter yet, and I don't know. It would depend on how much it's worth because I don't like doing big, huge things. But if it's worth it, I'll do it. Okay, this is from the artist sketchbook. It is a sketch of an old refrigerator. I took a $15 offer on this. I'm still listing sketches from that book, and what I did was allocated a cost of $4 to like the first 10 because that's about what I paid for it. So once I get through these a little bit more and sell a few more, then it'll be gravy, pure profit on the rest of them. So $15 on a $4 item, a piece of paper. How do I ship these? I make a mailer. I wrap it in some kind of plastic, like a Ziploc if it's small enough to fit in there, or some kind of protection, and put it between two pieces of cardboard. Amazon boxes work great for that, and tape up the sides, and it does not bend, so easy enough. Okay, horse ribbons. You knew you were not going to get through this video without hearing about horse ribbons. um, this one sold for $39.97. It's a lot of 10. That's how I do all of them. That seems to be the sweet spot for selling them. And these lots cost me between $3 and $9 per lot. It just depends on how old they are, what condition they're in, where they're from, all of that. So this was an older lot from the 80s to the 90s, and it sold for full asking price. So let me do a quick cutaway to a downloaded spreadsheet that I got from my eBay sales workflow and show you how great I'm doing on these. I know I got to brag on myself because I love it when I find something that is so repeatable and findable. And that's the key is figure out something, master it, and then just keep doing it over and over again until it doesn't work. It's an Excel spreadsheet with some information downloaded. Now you can go to your all sales folder or paid and shipped folder and put in your criteria, whether it is date or keyword or whatever you're wanting to analyze. And then you just download a spreadsheet like this so you can see item title is over here with all these horse ribbons. And I do make the title just a tad different on each one because you get a little zing from eBay if you list something that has the exact same title of something else you already listed. So you got to make them different, even if it's just rearranging the words or abbreviating a word and then not abbreviating it or putting your custom label in the title if you have room, just stuff like that. Because I've got so many of these going, I don't want to uh, have the exact same title because then the listing won't post and it won't work anyway. So that's where this custom label is. It's the lot number and then the sold price and then the sale date. So if we go all the way down here, we can see the dollar amount. Now this is the sale price, not including shipping. So $4,227.34. And that's as of today, November 6th. So I feel like, oh, I've discovered something great this year and it's repeatable and it's findable and it's very steady. I sell one or two lots a week. So between $25 and $40 is the price I'll take because that's what they sell for. And it depends on what I paid for it and how much attention it gets, if it shows up in my send offer. Some states are more desired than others, some competitions, some colors. I'm learning about all of that. So, over $4,000 on a product that I never sold until this year. And that is motivation for you to look for these types of products that are findable and repeatable and profitable. So you got to have that whole magical cocktail, I call it. So I just wanted to share that with you because that's a victory in my book. Okay, this is a Naken anti-tarnish flatware storage box. This was $3 at Goodwill. It took about a year to sell, and I did lower the price to $29.97, and it sold within a couple of days of that. So anti-tarnish flatware storage box. Easy enough to ship. Just wrapped it in bubble wrap, put it in a big box, and it was all good. Okay, this is a good one. The McDonald's game. I found this for $2.75 at Goodwill on Senior Day. It is a vintage 1975 The McDonald's board game complete. And I did actually look it up to make sure it had all the parts, and it did have all the parts. Some of them were still in the little cellophane bags, and the board was in excellent condition. And I don't really sell games that much because I do not have the patience to figure out if they have all the parts, but this looked brand new and had everything. So it only had one view, and I accepted an offer of $65 because prices were all over the board and I'm becoming more of a turn and burn seller. So for $2.75 and then getting a $65 offer in less than a week and only one view, I took that and was very happy about it. Another pair of shoes from my online estate sale shoe hoarder purchase. back over the summer. I won an auction for like 12 pairs of shoes. They came out to be $12 a piece, brand new in the boxes. And if you recall, I might have mentioned this, I had the auction company not send the boxes because I didn't want to pay for that to be shipped because it would be a bigger box to put them in and more expensive. And when I sell them, I don't send out the box anyway unless it's something super fabulous like Chanel shoes or something really high end where the box is important. And that keeps the shipping costs down for the eBay customer as well. So I took an offer of $34 on this pair of Easy Spirits. So basically tripled my money on that. Okay, here we have an Augusta National women's pullover. It does not have the Masters logo, it's just Augusta National, but it was a women's 2 extra large, so that's on my radar. Whenever you find something specific like this with a logo and it's in a larger size, that usually works well. So it was $3 at Goodwill, and I took an offer of $20. This is what I call a boomerang item because it came back and I resold it. The first time it sold, the person did not understand what boucle was, and that is a knotty, nubby kind of texture. And she thought it was pilling. Like, this sweater is so pilled, I'm going to send it back. Well, okay, sure, you can return it for any reason, but I didn't even try to educate her because like she was already mad about it. So going forward, I put that in the listing. This is boucle, Boucle, which means a knotty, nubby texture, so that future buyers hopefully would read that and understand. But anyway, it sold again for $20 and it was a $3 Goodwill item. Okay, this is a I am not moving that again item. um, I was kind of already downsizing to go to my next place because I was on the third floor and was planning to move at some point to a ground floor. So it just happened differently than I expected. But anyway, I started downsizing things that, like, I do not want to move that thing one more time. Oh my gosh, really? So I had bought these dishes and some other dishes. It was a huge bundle of stuff for like less than $3 at Goodwill, maybe 5 years prior. And these are stoneware and they're heavy, and I'm over it. So I did put these up for sale, and someone bought two of them. Now, Threshold is, I believe, a Target brand. It's either Target or Walmart. So I am not a seller of dinnerware. You guys know that. But it was my own, so I was like trying to, instead of packing it up and having to move it, let's let the mailman take it. Anyway, somebody bought both of them and paid $10 a piece. Well, 11 actually, and shipping. So that turned out well. The other dishes that are not on here, my neighbor across the hall, they were moving. It was this little family, and they have a like 9-year-old daughter, and they had gotten their first house, and it was very exciting. And I was like, hey, I got some pretty dishes. Would you want them? So I did give her all the rest of them. She wanted them. She wanted, when you move to a new place, you want to kind of do a reset and start over. And they were new to her, and they were in great condition. And so I was so happy that she wanted them. Plenty of things have been given to me over the years, whether it's eBay seller downsizing or people moving that know I sell and they just want to give me stuff. And I'm totally receptive to that. But I'm okay also giving stuff to other people when I don't want or need it anymore, and especially don't want to pack it and move it. So, anyway, long story short, this is Target, but whatever the pattern is, people may be looking for it. They may buy it. So give it a try and put it up there on eBay and see what happens, because you never know what's not being made anymore. And if it's breakable, then they may need to replace it. So that's the teachable moment on this one. I had 3 of these magnetic task lights that I bought for one of the apartments I lived in that was kind of dark. And they're magnets and they stick on anything magnetic. So you can buy little pads that have the magnet in them that are sticky, so you can put them up under the counters and stuff. Anyway, I had not used them in years, and this was another, do I really want to move these? I'm not even using them item. I had 3 of them. One person bought one for 15, and then another person bought 2 of them for 20. So this was just found money, and the both people that bought them were very excited because these had been discontinued, this specific one. So I did that research and I think I paid $20 for them. So basically got my money back on those. This is from the lot of St. John clothing I bought on an online estate sale back over the summer. I took a $100 offer on this item. It wasn't as detailed or striking as some of the other pieces, but it did have the uh, logoed buttons, and it was very plain and classic looking. So $20 turned into $100. More shoes from the estate sale shoe buy. These were $12 and sold for 35, so basically tripled my money on that. Easy Spirit size 7 wide sport sandals. And those were so easy to ship and lightweight. That was a really good buy. I'm always looking for comfort shoes. Easy Spirit, Skechers, Clarks, any of those sell pretty well. Okay, this was a fun item, a vintage Irish tweed fabric landscape art. So it's just little tiny pieces of fabric arranged to create a country scene. And this was $20 on an online auction, and it sold for full asking price of $79.97. And it wasn't huge, it was only 12 by 9, so pretty easy to ship. Another item I like to sell, wigs. This one wasn't so beautiful, but that's okay because you never know what it's going to be used for. It could be used in theater or as part of a costume, or maybe somebody had the exact same one and they just wanted to replace it. So this was $3 at Goodwill, and it sold for $24.97, which was full asking price. Some health and beauty items. This is an empty bottle. I got 3 of these at an estate sale. I think they were around $10 a piece. And I did take offers on these. I took 25 for each of them. And as you can see, it says in the title, empty bottle. In the description, it says empty bottle. It says empty. It's listed in the collectibles category. Seller notes, empty bottle. Okay. And 2 out of the 3 people that purchased this, when they received it, said, "This is empty. There's no perfume in it." And I'm just confused by that because, and I asked them, I say, "Yeah, it's empty. We're selling it as a collectible." As you can see, it's in the collectibles category. It says empty in the title, in the description, and in the item specifics. So how could we have communicated that better? And either they don't answer, or they just say they're going to return it and they never do. So I had another one that was smaller, and it sold for 20. Same thing. I guess they just don't read the listing and they just look at the picture. But I don't know how else you can communicate that it's empty other than putting it everywhere. Now, this is dark glass, so you can't see through it. On the clear glass, you can tell it's empty, but I did everything right, and apparently they just didn't read the listing, and I can't control that. I can't do any more than I'm doing to, to communicate that it's empty. So, okay, moving on. This is a hyaluronic serum. I got 2 of these on an online estate sale. They were $8 and one has sold for $34.97. So this is another type of item I like to find, these small, easy to ship, sealed health and beauty products, especially these expensive eye serums and face creams and all of that, as long as they're sealed and within their expiration. That is a win for me. Continuing on, freestyling. Nothing is in order here. Okay, this was another sketch slash drawing from the sketchbook, and I see there is a typo. I must have refreshed this and moved the words around and made a mistake, and it sold anyway. And by the way, if you're ever looking at my listings and you see a mistake, please tell me. I'm human too. I cram a lot into every day, and sometimes I make mistakes. So I do appreciate it. If you're looking at my listings and you see something wrong or what looks like a typo or an autocorrect or any of that, do not hesitate to message me and say, hey, this is so and so. You have a mistake in your listing. I appreciate it. And I do that when I'm shopping as a buyer too, because in fact, this just happened last week. I was shopping for something and the decimal place was in the wrong spot in the numbers of their price. So something that should have been like $24.99, it was $2,499. So I reached out to the seller and I said, hey, I'm looking at your stuff and I just noticed this looks like maybe the decimal's in the wrong place because it was a very basic item that was not $2,400. So, and they appreciated it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I was doing that on my phone and going too fast and whatever." So we all make mistakes. But anyway, this is one of those sketches from the sketchbook, and it sold for just under $25, and it went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I was just wondering, I wonder where it's going to be displayed. Is it in a high-end menswear shop? Is it in a hat store? I did not reach out and ask because I don't like to poke a stick in a beehive. But good to know that this old drawing from 1940 went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Very cool. All right, more of Beulah's letters. These were 1950s handwritten letters, and the topics of discussion in the letters was primarily fear of Russian attack. And so, yes, that went in the title. And I did make a little video just showing all of the dates on the postmarks, and these were from, I believe, the woman's uncle who was working on a farm in a neighboring state, but a lot of fear of Russian attacks. So I think that's why they sold for the price I got was $40 for these letters. And the book lady, Eileen, told me that if you can get $1 per letter, you're doing well on these old handwritten letters. So just some information for you if you're looking to get into that category. Okay, this was a fun one. Historic Lord Baltimore Hotel laundry bag. I bought this on an online estate sale and it was about $10 and it sold for 50. very easy to ship. And guess what? It went back to Baltimore. So I love being part of the process where things are being rehomed back to their original home. And I thought something like this might sell if it somebody's last name was Baltimore, or maybe just to hang in their laundry room as some, farmhouse decor, whatever. But yeah, interesting that it went back to Baltimore. Okay, here is a I'm not moving this again item. This keyboard came with my iMac that I bought in 2021. I did not like this keyboard. I did not want to use it because it doesn't have the 10 key with the numbers, and I use numbers a lot. So I just got a cheap $20 keyboard off Amazon and used that, and I've been carrying this around with me for 4 years. So I put it up for sale. I priced it right, $39.97, and it still had the packaging on it. I took it out of the package, the clear cellophane stuff, to take the pictures, and it sold in less than a day. I was like, why didn't I do this before? Why have I been carrying this keyboard around? So that got a new home, and I don't have to look at it anymore. Okay, one of my favorites, 100% cashmere sweater. This one came from Goodwill, $3. I took an offer of $37 in about a month. And yes, it had the Made in Hong Kong label, so that indicates it's vintage because things stopped being made in Hong Kong. It was either 1997 or 1999. All that changed. So if anything has Made in Hong Kong, you automatically know it is vintage. Okay, another wig, Goodwill find. This was behind the counter in the box, and I paid like $3 for it. I've had it for almost a year, and it sold for full price of $39.97. Another St. John piece. This is a cardigan sweater. Again, kind of plain looking, but it has those logoed buttons, and it's the Santana knit and all the good things. And this was $20 on an online estate sale. I bought a bunch of pieces, maybe 10 pieces, and this sold for full asking of $79.97. Just a few more things, and we will wrap this up. This is a Mixpresso white espresso coffee machine, and this was my daughter's and never got used, so it went on eBay and it sold for $37. I don't normally sell electronics, but this was pretty easy and it worked fine, so went for it. And would you believe, a couple of weeks later, I saw one of these in a Goodwill. I did not buy it. It was priced too high, but now I know this Mixpresso is a good seller, and if I find one at the right price, I will get it. Okay, this is the cover thumbnail. It is a vintage Lillon Norwegian 100% wool bucket hat. This was part of an online auction. It was $10 and I sold it for just under $60. I did a lot of research on this before I bid on it, and there weren't very many online. The only one I could find anywhere sold for $80. So that's how I priced it, but got an offer for $60 and I took that. Okay, another hat. This was free to me. This is a vintage 100% wool beanie with a pom-pom on top. I'd had this about a year and it sold for $19.47 a couple of days after I revised the listing. So I am finding that that is working, going in and revising rather than ending and restarting. Okay, here is the teachable moment from this video if you get nothing else. Did you know that shaver heads such as this can be fake, counterfeit. I did not. So this was part of an online auction. I paid $8 for it and I priced it at 40, and the customer got it and he was very nice about it. He contacted me. You may not know this, but this is not authentic and it won't fit the razor it's supposed to fit because it's fake. He showed me pictures of the authentic packaging versus this fake one. And I had no idea. I had no idea these were fake. So there's another thing that is out there that can be fake. Who knew, right? I'm like, oh, small, easy to ship, consumable. I'll do it. No, it's fake. So I refunded his money immediately and learned a lesson that if you find these, do extensive research, look up what the fake ones are because I really had no idea and I felt bad about it, but I corrected the situation as soon as I knew. Okay, and we will end on this item, a Harry Potter Gryffindor costume robe. I found this, get ready for it, at the Goodwill bins in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Everything I bought that day came out to be $1.48 a piece. So this sold for full asking of $19.97 plus shipping. And you can see it sold on October 4th. So plenty of time for Halloween, but costumes sell all year. So don't hesitate to list them because there's always book character day at school and kids that just like to dress up in costumes, or parties, New Year's, sometimes it's a costume party, theater, all kinds of stuff. So if you have it, list it. All right, and that sums up some of my sales for August and September. I sold a total of 167 things over that 2-month period. So this video would go on into infinity if I showed you every single thing. But you can always visit my store and see what I have for sale. Look at my sales. My store is set up as a teaching store to help people learn and, of course, do eBay the right way. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I appreciate your comments, like, dislike, reactions. Let me know what you're thinking, and I hope you have a profitable and productive day on eBay. See you in the next video. Bye, everybody.